Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Braje Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braje Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda. Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna and welcome to the most auspicious appearance day of Advaita Acarya Prabhu. I'm so grateful to be allowed to speak, and I ask for the blessings of everyone so that I can say something useful. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So we'll try to say something about Advaita Acharya, but actually it's not possible to sufficiently glorify him. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, "Who can describe the unlimited glories of Advaita Acharya? I write here as much as I have known from great authorities. Your glories are as fathomless as millions of oceans and seas. Speaking of its measure is a great offense indeed." So we actually can't encapsulate everything about Advaita Acharya and who he is, but we can try to just absorb our consciousness to its fullest extent in Advaita Acharya, his glories and his purpose and his mission and what he came to do. So who is Advaita Acharya? He is the person who changed the trajectory of our lives. Actually, the trajectory of the whole world. It was Advaita Acharya who induced Lord Chaitanya to appear in this world 500 years ago and spread the philosophy of Krishna consciousness and make pure love of God accessible to everyone very widely. And we know from after Lord Chaitanya appeared, then he spread Krishna consciousness all throughout India. And it was predicted that there would be a person who would come in the future to take Krishna consciousness all over the world, and that's our Srila Prabhupada. So without Advaita Acharya, none of this would have happened. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are 2 verses describing his position. Mahavishnu Jagatkarta Mayaya Yashrijatyada Tasyavatara Evayam Advaita Acharya Ishvara. Lord Advaita Acharya is the incarnation of Mahavishnu, whose main function is to create the cosmic world through the actions of Maya. Advaitam Harinadvaitad Acharyam Bhakti Samsanat Bhaktavataram Isham Tam Advaitacharyam Ashraye. Because he is non-different from Hari, the Supreme Lord, he is called Advaita. And because he propagates the cult of devotion, he is called Acharya. He is the Lord and the incarnation of the Lord's devotee. Therefore, I take shelter of him. So Advaita Acharya is an incarnation of Mahavishnu, who creates all the unlimited universes by his breath. And now he's taken the role of a devotee to teach Krishna consciousness. One may ask the question, why is he playing the part of a devotee? He is God. But it's interesting because in the chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita describing the glories of Advaita Acharya, which is chapter 6 of Adi Leela, actually the whole chapter speaks about the joy of being a servant. Most of it is about how everyone, no matter how exalted they are, they relish being a servant of Krishna. The residents of Vrindavan, the parents of Krishna, Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, the cowherd boys, the gopis, Lord Balaram, who is Krishna himself, relishes the joy of being a servant. Uddhava, Lakshmana, Ananta Shesh, everyone. So it reinforces the idea about why Advaita Acharya was very happy to be a servant. And actually, it wasn't the etiquette for him to be a servant of Lord Chaitanya, because Advaita Acharya was the godbrother of Ishvara Puri. So Madhavendra Puri initiated Advaita Acharya and Ishvara Puri. So, and Ishvara Puri is the spiritual master of Lord Chaitanya. So by the etiquette, Lord Chaitanya was actually meant to respect Advaita Acharya the way he respects his own guru, because this is the godbrother of his guru. But Advaita Acharya would not have it. He was not comfortable receiving that respect due to his identity of being a servant and how he relished that mood. So we'll just read a few verses about Advaita Acharya's compassion, because it was due to his compassion that he asked Lord Chaitanya to come. He noticed that the world was devoid of spirituality and that nobody was practicing devotional service. Nobody had access to it. So he wanted the Lord to come and give it out freely. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the chapter describing the reasons, the external reasons for Lord Chaitanya's appearance, the main reason is Advaita Acharya called him. So in text 96 it said, Advaita Acharya having appeared, he found the world devoid of devotional service to Sri Krishna because people were engrossed in material affairs. Everyone was engaged in material enjoyment, whether sinfully or virtuously. No one was interested in the transcendental service of the Lord, which can give total relief from the repetition of birth and death. Seeing the activities of the world, the Acharya felt compassion and began to ponder how he could act for the people's benefit. Advaita Acharya thought, if Sri Krishna were to appear as an incarnation, he himself could preach devotion by his personal example. In this age of Kali, there is no religion other than the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. But how in this age will the Lord appear as an incarnation? I shall worship Krishna in a purified state of mind. I shall constantly petition him in humbleness. My name, Advaita, will be befitting if I am able to induce Krishna to inaugurate the movement of the chanting of the holy name. While he was thinking about how to propitiate Krishna by worship, the following verse came to his mind. So there's a verse from the Gautamiya Tantra which gave the secret of how he could make the Lord come. Tulasi dala matrena jalasya chulukena va vikrinite svam atmanam bhaktebhyo bhaktavatsala. Sri Krishna, who is very affectionate toward his devotees, sells himself to a devotee who offers him merely a tulsi leaf and a palmful of water. Advaita Acharya considered the meaning of the verse in this way. Not finding any way to repay the debt he owes to one who offers him a tulsi leaf and water, Lord Krishna thinks, there is no wealth in my possession that is equal to a tulsi leaf and water. Thus the Lord liquidates the debt by offering himself to the devotee. Considering in this way, the Acharya began worshipping the Lord. Thinking of the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, he constantly offered tulsi buds in water from the Ganges. He appealed to Sri Krishna with loud calls and thus made it possible for Krishna to appear. Therefore, the principal reason for Sri Chaitanya's descent is this appeal by Advaita Acharya. The Lord, the protector of religion, appears by the desire of his devotee. So it was the desire of Advaita Acharya that brought Lord Chaitanya to us, and he did it by simply worshipping his Saligram Shila with tulsi leaves and Ganga water. And we may think, can we petition the Lord to come by doing that same activity? But it's the purity. It was the purity and intensity that he only had the desire for the world's benefit, for everyone to be uplifted by the process of Krishna consciousness, not for any selfish desire. And one may think, why is God worshipping God to bring God? But Advaita Acharya could have, in one of the purports, Srila Prabhupada said, Advaita Acharya could do the work himself, but he preferred to be a servant. In Chaitanya Bhagavat, there's further descriptions about how he petitioned the Lord by Vrindavan Das Thakur, and there's purports by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So it is said, Sri Advaita Acharya would enthusiastically worship Krishna with tulsi manjaris and water from the Ganga. He loudly called for Krishna in great spiritual ecstasy. That sound vibration pierced the covering of the universe and was heard in the Vaikuntha planets. The purport by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu was a plenary incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Therefore, by his great endeavor and influence, his chanting of Krishna's names crossed beyond the enjoying realm and sensual perception of the material world and echoed in the supreme abode of Vishnu, the transcendental Vaikuntha Lokas, which are composed of pure goodness. Within this universe, there are 14 planetary systems, among which Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, and Satyaloka are situated at the top of the three worlds. Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu engaged in Lord Hari's service by chanting the names of Krishna, which crossed beyond these planets born of the material modes of nature and entered into the transcendental realm of Vaikuntha, which is free from all anxiety. The next verse. On hearing Advaita Prabhu's cries of love, Lord Krishna personally appeared, for he is controlled by the love of his devotees. Purport by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. The Lord of Sri Advaita Prabhu, Sri Krishna, heard Advaita's loud cries of love, and to fulfill his prayer and accept his pure service, the Lord appeared for the benefit of Advaita Prabhu's followers. Next verse. Therefore, Advaita Acharya is the best of all Vaishnavas. There is no comparison to his devotional service in the entire universe. Purport. For all these reasons, Sri Advaita Prabhu is the first and foremost of the Vaishnavas. He is famous as the topmost devotee in the entire universe. In this world, there is no devotee engaged in the service of Hari like him. He is personally Vishnu Tattva, and as an Acharya, he is an incarnation of a devotee and as good as Hari. So this is giving us a glimpse into the exalted position of Advaita Acharya. Even though in the Panchatattva, he's a bit on the side, but he is the topmost of all devotees. And he's very humble because he is actually the Lord himself, but he's taking the position of a devotee. So his mission was to spread the mercy of Lord Chaitanya as a servant. He really didn't want to be respected as the godbrother of Lord Chaitanya's guru, but Lord Chaitanya was fixed in following the etiquette. So Advaita Acharya devised a plan of how to get the Lord to not respect him. Actually, he wanted to make him very angry. So he knew that the main reason Lord Chaitanya appeared was to preach the glories of bhakti, devotional service. So Advaita Acharya intentionally started preaching that jnana is superior to bhakti, just to agitate the mind of Lord Chaitanya. Sri Sri Radha Radhanath ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Sri Giriraj Govardhan ki jai. So Advaita Acharya decided that he wanted to agitate Lord Chaitanya in this way and get him to chastise him, so that then there would be no question of the awe and reverence felt by Lord Chaitanya for him. So there was a day when Lord Chaitanya was already pretty upset because he had visited a sannyasi who was actually keeping a wife and who also tried to give Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda wine. So Lord Chaitanya was infuriated. He felt like this sannyasi is not living up to the meaning of a sannyasi. So he was already in an angry mood. And then he appeared to Advaita Acharya. And in Chaitanya Bhagavat, it's described that as soon as he saw Advaita Acharya, he asked him, so which is superior, bhakti or jnana? And Advaita Acharya, because he's also God, knew that Lord Chaitanya was coming with this angry mood. He knew that something had agitated him. So he decided, this will be my opportunity to be chastised by the Lord. So he said that jnana is superior, and Lord Chaitanya got infuriated. He just took Advaita Acharya and beat him up. And while this was happening, Sita Thakurani, Advaita Acharya's wife, was screaming, "No, he's an old man. What's going to happen to him? If he dies, then you'll get the sin of killing a brahmana. So there's nothing that can be done about that. There's no recourse for that." So, and this is expected. But she also knew that this was the plan of Advaita Acharya. So, but it was in the moment where she was speaking like this. So Advaita Acharya was just blissful having received this chastisement, because he finally got the Lord to stop having the mood of awe and reverence to him. And he actually, at that time, he asked for shelter at the Lord's feet. And then Lord Chaitanya cried, Advaita Acharya cried, everyone around who was watching this incident, they were all crying. And Lord Chaitanya said, "I will bestow mercy on any living entity, even an ant, insect, animal or bird, who takes shelter of you for even a moment, even if that living entity commits hundreds of offenses against me." And Advaita Acharya said, "If one worships me but does not accept you, then may his devotion to me annihilate him. One who does not worship your lotus feet and accept you as the Supreme Lord is not dear to me. Anyone who worships you is my life and soul. I cannot tolerate a person who disregards you." So this is the level of love that they both shared with each other, and the level of respect that they both felt. But it was good that in this incident, Advaita Acharya got to really express that to the Lord, because before it wasn't allowed by the Lord. So there's another nectarian pastime when Lord Chaitanya wanted to go to Vrindavan after accepting sannyas order. Lord Nityananda had another idea. He wanted to take Lord Chaitanya to the home of Advaita Acharya instead. And he wanted all the devotees to come and meet him there, because they were obviously in deep separation. Mother Sachi and everyone, they were all really sad since Lord Chaitanya left, and this was their opportunity to see him again. So Lord Nityananda devised a plan. So he said he will go and trick Lord Chaitanya. So on the path walking to Vrindavan, there were some cowherd boys, and Lord Nityananda told them, if Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asks you about the path to Vrindavan, please show him the path on the bank of the Ganges instead. So these cowherd boys, they did that. When Lord Chaitanya came, they misled him. And Lord Nityananda said he will go along with Lord Chaitanya. So they were both walking, and Lord Chaitanya thought they were going to Vrindavan. So I'll just read some of the verses from that portion. As the Lord proceeded along the bank of the Ganges, Sri Nityananda Prabhu requested Acharya Ratna to go immediately to the house of Advaita Acharya. Sri Nityananda Goswami told him, I shall take Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the bank of the Ganges at Shantipur, and Advaita Acharya should carefully stay there on shore with a boat. After that, Nityananda Prabhu continued, I shall go to Advaita Acharya's house, and you should go to Navadvip and return with Mother Sachi and all the other devotees. When the Lord asked Nityananda Prabhu how far it was to Vrindavan, Nityananda replied, just see, here is the river Yamuna. Saying this, Nityananda Prabhu took Chaitanya Mahaprabhu near the Ganges, and the Lord, in his ecstasy, accepted the river Ganges as the river Yamuna. The Lord said, oh, what good fortune! Now I have seen the river Yamuna. Thus thinking the Ganges to be the river Yamuna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to offer prayers to it. So Lord Chaitanya took his bath in the Ganges, and then Advaita Acharya arrived there with new garments for him to use after his bath. So still in ecstasy, the Lord asked Advaita Acharya, why did you come here? How did you know that I was in Vrindavan? Advaita Acharya disclosed the whole situation, telling Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, wherever you are, that is Vrindavan. Now it is my great fortune that you have come to the bank of the Ganges. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, Nityananda has cheated me. He has brought me to the bank of the Ganges and told me that it was the Yamuna. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accused Nityananda of cheating him, Srila Advaita Acharya said, whatever Nityananda Prabhu has told you is not false. You have indeed just now taken your bath in the river Yamuna. Advaita Acharya then explained that at that spot the Ganges and Yamuna flowed together. On the western side was the Yamuna, and on the eastern side was the Ganges. Advaita Acharya said, you have been fasting continuously for 3 days in your ecstasy of love for Krishna. I therefore invite you to my home, where you may kindly take your alms. Come with me to my residence. Advaita Prabhu continued, at my home I have just cooked 1 palmful of rice. The vegetables are always very simple. There is no luxurious cooking, simply a little liquid vegetable and spinach. So when Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda went there, this was a trick of Advaita Acharya, because it was very opulent prasadam available. By Advaita Acharya's wife Sita Thakurani, she had prepared so much that it's not possible for anyone to eat that amount of food. But this was his way to get the Lord to his home. by tricking him, that it was all simple. So there's some descriptions of the food there. The cooked rice was a stack of very fine grains nicely cooked, and in the middle was yellow clarified butter from the milk of cows. Surrounding the stack of rice were pots made of the skins of banana trees, and in these pots were varieties of vegetables and moong dal. Among the cooked vegetables were patolas, squash, manakachu, and a salad made with pieces of ginger and various types of spinach. There was shukta, bitter melon mixed with all kinds of vegetables, defying the taste of nectar. There were 5 types of bitter and pungent shuktas. Among the various vegetables were newly grown leaves of nimba trees fried with eggplant. The fruit known as patola was fried with hulabadi, a kind of dal preparation, first mashed and then dried in the sun. There was also a preparation known as kusmanda manachaki. The preparation made with coconut pulp mixed with curd and rock candy was very sweet. There was a curry made of banana flowers and squash boiled in milk, all in great quantity. There were small cakes in sweet and sour sauce, and 5 or 6 kinds of sour preparations. All the vegetables were so made that everyone present could take prasadam. There were soft cakes made with moong dal, soft cakes made with ripe bananas, and soft cakes made with urad dal. There were various kinds of sweetmeats, condensed milk mixed with rice cakes, a coconut preparation, and every kind of cake desirable. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "It is not proper for a sannyasi to eat such a variety of foods. If he does, how can he control his senses? I will not be able to eat so much food, and it is not the duty of a sannyasi to leave remnants." Then Advaita Acharya said that eating at Jagannath Puri, Lord Jagannath and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are identical. So he pointed out that at Jagannath Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ate 54 times a day, and each time he ate many hundreds of pots of food. So he compared this eating to the eating that goes on at Jagannath Puri in the temple. And Advaita Acharya said, "The amount of food that 3 people can eat does not constitute even a morsel for you. In proportion to that, these edibles are not even 5 morsels of food for you. By my great fortune, you have just come to my home. Please do not juggle words. Just begin eating and do not talk." But Nityananda Prabhu, on the other hand, had a different experience of all of this food. Nityananda Prabhu said, "I have undergone fasting for 3 days continuously. Today I had hoped to break my fast." Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was thinking that the quantity of food was enormous, Nityananda Prabhu, on the contrary, thought it not even a morsel. He had been fasting for 3 days and had greatly hoped to break fast on that day. Indeed, he said, "Although I am invited to eat by Advaita Acharya, today also is a fast. So small a quantity of food will not fill even half my belly." Advaita Acharya replied, "Sir, you are a mendicant traveling on pilgrimage. Sometimes you eat fruits and roots, and sometimes you simply go on fasting. I am a poor Brahmana, and you have come to my home. Please be satisfied with whatever little food you have received, and give up your greedy mentality." So these are the nectarian talks between Advaita Acharya and Lord Nityananda. It's all transcendental. The transcendental banter that they have, little arguments. It's very sweet and relishable for us. Lord Nityananda replied, "Whatever I may be, you have invited me. Therefore, you must supply as much as I want to eat." Advaita Acharya, after hearing the statement of Nityananda Prabhu, took the opportunity presented by the joking words and spoke to him as follows. "You are a reject Paramahamsa, and you have accepted the renounced order of life just to fill up your belly. I can understand that your business is to give trouble to the Brahmanas." Advaita Acharya accused Nityananda Prabhu, saying, You can eat 10 to 20 manas of rice. I am a poor brahmana. How shall I get so much rice? 1 mana is 40 kilograms, I think. I think that's the conversion. So, Advaita Acharya says, whatever you have, though it be a palmful of rice, please eat it and get up. Don't show your madness and strew the remnants of food here and there. Again, Nityananda Prabhu jokingly said, my belly is not yet filled up. Please take away your food. I have not taken the least of it. After saying this, Nityananda Prabhu took a handful of rice and threw it on the floor in front of him as if he were angry. When 2 or 4 pieces of the thrown rice touched his body, Advaita Acharya began to dance in various ways with the rice still stuck to his body. When the rice thrown by Nityananda Prabhu touched his body, Advaita Acharya thought himself purified by the touch of remnants thrown by Paramahamsa Nityananda. Therefore, he began dancing. So, this pastime attracted so many devotees. When people heard that Lord Chaitanya was at the house of Advaita Acharya, they flocked there. Everyone arrived there. And then they had a huge kirtan. Advaita Acharya was singing and dancing, and it was just such a joyful mood at his home. And there's a really beautiful verse. Advaita Acharya said, my dear friends, what shall I say? Today I have received the highest transcendental pleasure. After many, many days, Lord Krishna is in my house. Many days you escaped me by bluffing. Now I have you in my home and I will keep you bound up. So this is a very ecstatic pastime of the trickery. The Lord's pastimes are not just of creation and destruction. This is the sweetness of the Lord's pastimes. This is the rasa. And Chaitanya Charitamrita is full of these kinds of pastimes that we can't even begin to understand. It's all between the Lord and his associates, what's going on. Without Srila Prabhupada's purpose, we wouldn't hope to understand any of this. There's also a really nice description of Advaita Acharya's birth from the Bhakti Ratnakar by Srila Narahari Chakravarti Thakur, which is actually appears in this month's issue of Krishna Kathamrita Bindu, if anyone wants to read it, by Madhavananda Prabhu. It's a really nice issue. So in Bhakti Ratnakar, it said, when Lord Advaita became manifested in this world, Madhavendra Puri, Ishvara Puri, Sachi Devi and Jagannath Mishra were also manifest. To the living entities, Lord Advaita was merciful without end. On the pretext of taking birth there, he made the land of Bengal fortunate. In Bengal, near Sri Hatta, in the village of Nabagram, there Kubera Pandit, the son of Nrsimha Pandit, resided. Very fortunate, Kubera Pandit walked on the path of devotional service. He thought only of Lord Krishna's lotus feet and nothing else. His saintly wife, Naba Devi, was devoted to her husband. She was worshipped by the whole world. She became Advaita's mother. The couple came to live at Shantipur on the bank of the Ganga. They were always absorbed in talking about Krishna. One day, after hearing a Vaishnava blasphemed, Sri Kubera and Naba decided to give up their lives. Seeing them on the verge of dying, by the Lord's wish a fortunate soul pacified them. Feeling sad, they lay down and fell asleep. In a dream, they saw a great wonder. They saw an effulgent, handsome man, his form defeating the splendor of molten gold. Grasping another man's hands, the handsome man said sweetly, to relieve the conditioned souls of their sorrows, please quickly descend to the earth. You will attract me there. I will have no power to stay here. Accompanied by my elder brother, quickly I will be manifest there. Hearing these words, the second person became joyful at heart. Then, at an auspicious moment, he entered Naba Devi's womb. Watching all this, the Brahman Kubera was filled with bliss. His dream broke and his heart became wild. That learned Brahman thought, manifesting the form of a guru, the Supreme Personality of Godhead will become manifest in this world. Contemplating this dream, the Brahman and his wife were overwhelmed. They had no power to check the tears that flowed from their eyes. From that day, Naba was pregnant. She returned to Nabagram, where she stayed. When Advaita Acharya was manifest, the whole world became blissful at heart. Suddenly a voice declared, "Now Sri Krishna Chaitanya will be manifest on this earth. He will bring Nityananda Ram and will enjoy pastimes with his associates. He will break to pieces the sorrow of the living entities. From house to house he will preach bhakti and prema. He will make the ocean of the bliss of Sankirtan overflow its shores. This Kali Yuga is so fortunate. No one will be cheated of that bliss of Sankirtan." Hearing this, everyone became joyful. Kubera Pandit's home became an abode of great auspiciousness. So it's interesting how in this description, it describes Advaita Acharya as one who will break the sorrow of the living entities to pieces. So, since his arrival, nobody can be lamenting because he brought Lord Chaitanya to this world, whose duty it was to give everyone transcendental happiness. And he's maintaining us. That's why his name is Vishvambar, because he's maintaining all the living entities. And maintaining really means to give happiness, because how can we be maintained if we're not happy? So it's actually Advaita Acharya who brings this happiness initially, because he brings Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda Prabhu, and they flood the world with the ocean of Krishna consciousness, with the bliss of Sankirtan. So this Kali Yuga is actually very fortunate because of their arrival here to give us all the happiness of Krishna consciousness. And I was thinking about a few years ago on Advaita Acharya's appearance day, a little miracle that I had. I was at work, and I had, during the December book marathon, I had distributed many, many, many books. And it was interesting because it was at a place where I didn't think people would be interested in books, in spirituality. Generally, people who have a lot of wealth and success would not feel the need to take up spirituality. But that book marathon was very enlivening because so many of these people who I never expected to be interested took Srila Prabhupada's books very quickly without a second guess. They were just buying the books. But there was someone who was a hardcore atheist at work, and he would preach atheism to us. And he was in our group of friends. I mean, like a distant kind of friend, but we would all be in a group at lunch, and everyone was from different backgrounds. There was a Muslim, there was a Christian, there was an agnostic who just didn't know and didn't really delve into spirituality. Then there was me, the Hare Krishna, and this atheist. And he's a very strong, intense person, and he used to preach atheism to us, and I just didn't have the energy to like deal and get into a fight or like an argument to try to defeat him. I was also a bit much newer in Krishna consciousness. I also didn't have the confidence to really take up the challenge. But also we weren't very close, so I thought it's unnecessary for me. We don't have that relationship where I can just go and like get into an argument and we'll still be friends. So I just left it. I'd hear this constant blasphemy, like very often, and I would be so annoyed. But During that book marathon, I had gotten into this habit of just messaging people at work and asking them, do you want to buy these books? We've got these books on spirituality and whatever. I just sent them the titles and the prices, and people were interested without even needing to see them or me. I didn't have to tell them anything about it. I just sent them the titles. So I thought, after the book marathon, I continued doing that now and then, but on a slower scale, because so many had already received the books at work. So it just happened to be Advaita Acharya's appearance day, and I messaged this atheist because we're friends. And then I just simply, I didn't even say spirituality because I knew he's not going to be interested in books on spirituality. So I just said, I've got these books if you're interested. Titles and prices. That's all I sent him. And immediately he said, okay, I want this, this, and this. So he bought the Higher Taste cookbook. He asked for Beyond Illusion and Doubt and The Journey of Self-Discovery. And now, Beyond Illusion and Doubt is a very scientific book, and he's very scientifically minded. So I kind of thought that title would attract him. So The Journey of Self-Discovery has this picture of Krishna on the cover, and I was thinking, oh my God, how do I give him the books now? Because he's a staunch atheist. So and he immediately paid, before even receiving the books, he just deposited money into my account for the price. So I just went and delivered the books to him, and I stacked it such that The Journey of Self-Discovery was at the bottom, because that had Lord Krishna on the cover, put Beyond Illusion and Doubt on the top, and then Higher Taste on the top, because those are neutral books. And I just went to his desk, I just left and say, here's your books, and then disappeared, because I didn't want him to peruse them and then say, oh, this is on spirituality. No, I'm not interested. I didn't want anything like that. I just left the books and disappeared. And then, but I thought it was an Advaita Acharya miracle, because he came to stop atheism. That's what he called Lord Chaitanya to this world for, to bring forth the process of devotional service and to stop all atheistic mentality. And I thought that was really his miracle, that such an occurrence happened on that day, and that it was actually successful. I don't know if he read the books or if this person was even interested, but I think just to get the book out without an argument to an atheist was an Advaita Acharya miracle. So I was grateful. And it also made me think that we don't need to do some huge, elaborate thing to honor Advaita Acharya Prabhu. We can just do something simple, like just go and distribute books and reach out to someone, or do something small that might have a big impact on others later. To end, I'd like to read this Advaita Astakam by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So it's 8 verses glorifying Advaita Acharya, written by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Roaring like a lion and thundering like a monsoon cloud, he prays day and night. O Krishna, O Lord of Radhika! He smears the Saligram Shila with the paste of sandalwood and musk, and offers arti with incense and lamp. I meditate upon the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acharya, the Lord of Sita Devi. He worships the Saligram Shila with water of the Ganga mixed with tulsi manjaris and leaves. Tears of love incessantly flow from his eyes as he meditates upon Krishna and sings his glories. He prays to the Supreme Lord, who is an ocean of mercy, to descend to this world. I meditate upon the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acharya, the Lord of Sita Devi. Again and again, he loudly sings the names of Krishna, praying to him, O my Lord, deliverer of the universe, please manifest your exceedingly merciful two-armed form in my vision. Please award me the proper vision. I meditate upon the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acharya, the Lord of Sita Devi. Due to the prayers of Sri Advaita Acharya, Sri Chaitanya appeared in the house of Jagannath Mishra in the womb of Mother Sachi. In order to enjoy the association of Sri Advaita, Sri Chaitanya sang the holy name of the Lord congregationally and danced with the devotees. I meditate upon the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acharya, the Lord of Sita Devi. The lotus feet of Sri Advaita are the goal of my knowledge and the object of my meditation. I always keep the dust of his lotus feet on my head. O my Lord, please bestow devotional service upon this unworthy soul and protect him. I meditate upon the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acharya, the Lord of Sita Devi. Sri Advaita, the Lord of Sita Devi, is the bestower of all benedictions and perfections, and he is the Lord of my life. That most merciful Lord immediately bestows bhakti upon those who meditate exclusively upon his lotus feet. I meditate upon the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acharya, the Lord of Sita Devi. All glories to Sri Advaita, along with Sri Chaitanya and the most merciful Nityananda Prabhu. They are all one, but in three different forms, depicting the different phases of life, like adolescence, etc. Sri Advaita roars and thunders in order to deliver the living entities by giving them transcendental knowledge and pure devotional service. I meditate upon the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acharya, the Lord of Sita Devi. He bestows loving devotional service upon the lowly, mean, blasphemous, and other such fallen people. The bestower of everything, Sri Advaita, the Lord of Sita Devi, is the leader of Shantipur. He frees one from the bondage of material attachments, bad association, fruitive activities, and mystic yoga. I meditate upon the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acharya, the Lord of Sita Devi. Sri Advaita Acharya's appearance day ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.